On-call scheduling in Service Operations Workspace helps shift managers ensure that dedicated team members are available to resolve issues as they arise. As a shift manager, here are some tasks you must perform to schedule and manage your on-call shifts. Create and edit on-call shifts. Add on-call members to shifts. And create escalation trigger rules and policies with steps. Let's walk through these tasks. We're logged into Service Operations Workspace, or SOW, as Adele, who has the Rota_Manager role. We've accessed the Schedules page via the Schedules icon in the navigation pane. We'll create an on-call shift for our IT network engineering team for the month of August. So we set the shift starts date to August 1st and select Apply. Then we set the shift ends date to August 31st and again select Apply. In the Repeats field, we select how often we want the shift to repeat: daily, weekly, or in our case, never repeat. We select Create Shift, and here's our form. To set up an effective on-call rotation, we navigate to the contextual side panel and select Members to add team members and create a rotating roster. This roster can be customized to recur on a weekly or daily basis, depending on your needs. The day of the week for rotation is when the shift changes. We'll leave it set to none. Because our schedule is for the month of August, it will start on August 1st, which is a Friday, so the day of the week for rotation will be Friday. There is no rotation yet. We'll add one. Let's staff it with team members from August 1st through August 31st. To create a balanced rotation, we select 4 team members for this shift and save it. The shift member names appear in the side panel. Every Friday, the rotation changes, with Abby covering August 1st through 7th, Alex starting on Friday the 8th, and so on. In most cases, having just one person on call isn't sufficient. You'll typically need a secondary backup. To add this layer, below the shift member names, we can add a rotation or responder level. From the Add Responder Level list, we select Create New, and then open the Add Rotation list and select New. We set the Until date to cover the month of August. Then add Caleb Manager as the secondary person to back up the primary on-call members and save it. After adding both primary and secondary team members, we check our choices in the side panel and then save and publish our rostered shift. Our on-call rotation is now set up and ready to manage incidents effectively. To configure escalation triggers and policies, we use the Teams icon in the navigation pane, and then select a card to navigate to that Teams page. Here's the IT Network Engineering page. On the Escalation Triggers and Policies tab, in the Escalation Triggers section, you can set up escalation triggers to initiate workflows or subflows based on specific conditions. For instance, when a P2 incident occurs, we want to contact and notify an on-call agent. Here's our P2 incident escalation trigger and the conditions we've set up for it. We've selected the incident table and set the condition to Priority is 2, High. And when those conditions are met, we want to kick off the on-call, Assign by Acknowledgement workflow, which is available in the base system. You can customize these workflows to suit your team's needs, and you can set multiple triggers to start escalation based on different conditions. Here's how the escalation works. The workflow contacts the designated on-call person. If the escalation is acknowledged, the incident is assigned to that agent, and the escalation process stops. Otherwise, it continues up the tree. The Escalation Policies section is where you define the granular details of what happens during an escalation. You can create policies for different scenarios, such as a P2 policy for incidents, and assign them to the relevant on-call shift. In our case, that's IT Network On-Call. We'll add a meaningful description and select Use as Default. Now we expand Escalation Steps and select Add Escalation Step. We'll name this escalation step Primary and go with the default order, which is 1. For responder level, we select Primary to use the primary responder level rotation we defined earlier. You can specify who should be notified for this escalation step. For example, we'll notify the executive leadership group. And finally, we set the number of reminder notifications and the time between them because we want to provide a nudge before escalating it further. Then save this escalation step. Let's add another step to handle escalating issues to the next level when necessary. We'll call it Secondary and Manager Escalation. The order will be Step 2, and the responder level is the secondary responder level rotation we defined earlier. Also, we've selected the defined group manager to be notified as well. Here's our two-step escalation tree. On-call agents manage their own notification preferences, but there may be times when you need to override them to ensure timely attention to issues. We do that by toggling on Override User Preferences and adding a notification step. In our example, we want to call the agent right away to prevent further delay. We save this contact method and save all our changes. Now that we've created on-call shifts, added members to shifts, and created escalation trigger rules and policies with steps, our on-call team is ready to handle issues effectively in SOW.